Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ayu Dewi Ratnasari. My student number is 2401070886. Today, I would like to tell you a story entitled The Honest Woodcutter. Okay, before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever found something that didn't belong to you? What would you do? Okay, let's find out in this story. Once upon a time, there was a poor woodcutter. He lived in a small village near a forest. Every day, he went to the forest to cut wood and earn money for his family. Although he was poor, he was very honest. One day, the woodcutter was cutting a tree near a river. Coop, coop, coop. Suddenly, he egg slipped from his hands and fell into the river. The woodcutter looked into the river. His eggs was good. It was his only eggs. Without eggs, he could not work. Without work, he could not help his family. The woodcutter became very sad. He cried, "Oh no, my egg is gone. What should I do?" He sat beside the river and didn't know what to do. What do you think will happen next? Will the woodcutter find his eggs again? Suddenly, a beautiful fairy appeared from the river. The fairy asked, "Why are you crying?" The woodcutter answered, "My eggs fell into the river. It is my only eggs. I cannot work without it." The fairy smiled kindly. "Don't worry, I will help you." Then the fairy disappeared into the river. A few moments later, she came back with a golden egg. The fairy asked, "Is this your eggs?" The woodcutter looked at the golden eggs. Then he shook his head. "No, that is not my eggs. My eggs made of iron." The fairy went in the river again. This time, she came back with a silver egg. Again, the fairy asked, "Is this your eggs?" The woodcutter shook his head once more. "No, that is not my eggs. My eggs made of iron." If you were the woodcutter, would you take the golden eggs? The fairy smiled. Then she went into the river one more time. Soon she came back with an iron egg. As soon as the woodcutter saw it, he smiled happily. "Yes, that is my eggs. That is my eggs." The fairy was very pleased. She said, "You are an honest man. Because you told the truth, I will give you all three eggs." The woodcutter was very surprised. "Really?" he asked. The fairy smiled and said, "Yes, you deserve this reward." The woodcutter thanks the fairy for her kindness. He returned home happily. From that day on, he lived a better life, and he never forgot the importance of honesty. Okay, the moral of this story is honesty is the best policy. Being honest might not always be easy, but it is always the right thing to do. Just like the woodcutter, we should always tell the truth and do the right thing because honesty can bring truth, respect, and even good things into our lives. Now, let me ask you a question. What did you learn from this story? Would you be honest like the woodcutter? Okay, guys, I hope you enjoy this story and learn an important lesson about honesty. Okay, guys, that's all from me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching my storytelling video. See you next time. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye.